Hello there, welcome to Living on Purpose. My name is Fola Adelesi, the same person that you see as Fola Daniel Speaks across social media platform. Today, I want to talk to you about take the limits of your mind. I did a video recently talking about stretch your minds, and this time around, I want to talk to you about taking the limits of your mind. Sometimes we actually took on the limits because of our environments. In some cases, we took on the limits because of mental conditioning. We took on the limits because of other people around us. We took on limits because of challenges, because of situations. So it's important to make sure that we don't take the limits of the environment into our hearts. We don't take family limits. We don't take limits of our partners, limits of our spouses into our minds. Take every limit of your mind, whatever limits that it is that you're dealing with, take it off. You know, one of the ways to take limits of your mind is to first of all admit that you have a mental limit or you have a psychological limit. I remember the case of the elephant that was told, and it's called the circus elephant. The circus elephant is usually trained in a particular way and tied to something just to give it a mental conditioning. And one of the challenges was that when they actually removed the chain on this circus elephant, for years the elephant will still keep doing the same thing, not knowing that it was no longer chained. In fact, recently I saw a chair on social media with a horse. You see, this horse was tied to a plastic chair, and guess what? The horse did not move. The horse stayed there. Why is it that the horse did not move despite the fact that it was only tied to a plastic chair? It's because of the mental conditioning. The fact that it was tied alone, the horse automatically assumed that it must have been tied to something heavy, something that would not allow it to move. It's the rope that created a mental conditioning. It's not the chair that created the mental conditioning. The chair could not limit it. But the fact that the horse has been used to being tied to places where it couldn't move. It's been used to being tied to things. It believes that once it is now tied to anything, then it can no longer move. So when it was tied to a plastic chair, it didn't move. You can't afford to keep working with the limits in your mind. If you keep going with the limits will keep stopping you. The limits will keep breaking you. The limits will keep pulling you back. So you want to go ahead, take the limits of you. And these limits can be fears. Sometimes you're thinking, how am I going to achieve this thing? Sometimes you're thinking, oh, I don't have enough money. Oh, I don't know the right people. Sometimes you don't need to know people. You just have to get started. And when you get started, someone will tell you, I think I know someone who can help you with these things that you're doing. So it's important that you take those limits off your mind. Change your environment if you need to, because in some cases it's the environment that is creating those limits for you. So you have to change your environment if the need arises. Some of the limits have been created deliberately by people, and you may be able to change some of them. If you can't change them, then you have to change those people. Change the people in your network if they're not willing to change their mindset. You can't let them keep you down, keep you into a regiment that doesn't allow you progress. Whatever you need to do, in fact, go today, do an assessment and ask yourself, what are the limits around me? Is it people? Is it capacity? Am I the one limiting myself? Even if it's the financial limits, there's a way around it. Find out that way around it and take off every limit so that you can achieve your maximum potential. I think you can also take off some limits off your mind by heading on to www.foladaniel.com, and don't forget to follow me across social media platforms at Fola Daniel Speaks. Check on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. Thank you so much.